Yes, everyone, you are welcome to this online classroom organized by the chemistry group held at Namirian College and Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Program and trained by MOBS. We are going to go through a chemistry lesson, and it will be about the periodic table. Let me hope this lesson is for the senior 2 students, and if another person joins in, it's okay, but it was mainly meant for senior 2 students. We are going to introduce ourselves to the periodic table. As you can see, we are first saying that what's the periodic table? What do we mean by the periodic table? As you can see on the screen, the periodic table is a table of chemical elements in which the elements are arranged by order of atomic number in such a way that the periodic properties, in bracket chemical properties, chemical periodicity, of the elements are made clear. The periodic table is trying to show us the chemical nature of the elements, as in what's composed in those elements and how the compositions are helped in different reactions. We are going to consider some terms like atomic number, mass number, symbol of the element. So the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic number, but you can still follow up the link and you go and see the detailed periodic table with all the elements with their atomic masses and their atomic numbers. Alright, here we are having some detailed explanation about the periodic table, and we are saying that the periodic table is made up of rows and columns. The horizontal rows are called periods and are assigned numbers according to the number of electron shells or energy levels that are filled by the electrons. As you saw on the periodic table, which was on the link, you observed the different rows, and those rows are called periods depending on the number of quantum shells. Then we are saying that all elements of the same periodic table have the same number of electron shells or energy levels. The periods are written in Roman numerals, actually Roman numbers, as 1, 2, 3, etc., as we shall explore more. From there, we are talking about the vertical columns, and we are saying that they are referred to as groups written using the Roman numerals on top of the group or on top of the columns. So I will be referring to the picture of the periodic table, and it had those vertical columns, and those vertical columns are actually representing the groups, and we are saying that the number represents the number of electrons in the outermost shell or energy level. As we shall draw this atomic structure, and we shall see that there are electrons which are on the outermost energy levels, and they give rise to the group of the atom. Elements in a particular group resemble each other chemically because they have the same number of electrons in their outermost energy levels. You see, reactions depends on loss or gain of electrons. That means that elements which lose the same number of electrons, they are most likely to undergo the same reactions. Yeah, so now we come to a periodic table of the first 20 elements. At our O level, we mainly deal with the first 20 elements, and here we are trying to have them with their symbols and names and atomic numbers from number 1 to 20. Hydrogen number 1, helium number 2, lithium 3, like that, up to 20, because I know by now you know the symbols of those elements. Yeah, what does the periodic table include? This one is just as we have been discussing. So as you can see what is included. The vertical columns and the periods are there. Yeah, we can go through that in our free time. The structure of the atom. Yeah, here we want to look at what is composed in the structure of the atom. Like I'm saying that atoms, they are in the elements. Atoms are the ones which make up the elements. And here we are saying that atoms are made up of smaller particles called electrons, protons, and neutrons. An atom consists of a cloud of electrons surrounding a small dense nucleus of protons and neutrons. We shall see on the next slide the locations of the protons and the neutrons in the nucleus. Electrons and protons have a property called electric charge, which affects the way they interact with each other and with electrically charged particles. So here we are saying that protons, they have charges, like protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. So that one affects their chemical nature and their chemical properties. Yeah. The definition of an atom with a continuation. Atom, the tiny basic building block of matter. They are the tiny building block of matter. All the material on Earth is composed of various combinations of atoms. An atom consists of a cloud of electrons surrounding a small dense nucleus of protons and neutrons. Atoms are the smallest particles of a chemical element that still exhibit all the chemical properties unique to the element. A row of 100 million atoms would be only about a centimeter long. So we are saying that if you have many millions of electrons, actual atoms, in real sense, they are just a few centimeters. So meaning that electrons and atoms in general, they are tiny, and you cannot see them by our naked eyes because they are very tiny. Like we can see here, this is just an illustration that this is matter, can be a block of any solid, and if you try to view as the science discovered, you will see the different atoms. Now when we pick one atom, we shall have to see how there is a central nucleus, central dense center called the nucleus, with a cloud of electrons in the red. Still, here we are trying, in the next figure, we are trying to enlarge the nucleus, and we are seeing that it is composed of the neutrons and the protons. Still, if you are to pick, you can still view further, and we see the carriers, the exact connection is between the protons and neutrons. So that's just the general structure of the atom. Now on the next slide we are having the structure of an atom. To put it more clear, like to make it, you can see it and it makes sense to you. Protons represented by that color red, neutrons, electrons. Electrons are surrounded around the nucleus, and we can count the number of electrons, and in most cases for a neutral atom, number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. So we can still have a link about how we can come up with this. There is a link in our group, actually in our classroom materials, or you can also have it here. It is also here, only that this thing is not, we can sit here and we can go and see how we can arrange them. Now here we are trying to go through the protons. We can, as we have been discussing, protons, they have a mass of approximately 1. The charge is positive charge, please. Yeah, that we can go through in our free time. We will download it and be going through. Neutrons, we are saying that they were discovered by Sir James Chadwick. The neutron is slightly heavier than a proton. That is with that figure, but in most cases we say that the protons also have a unit of 1. Have a unit of 1, which is like for protons in general. Yeah, from there we are continuing with where electrons are surrounded. And previously we say that the nucleus consists of protons and neutrons. So that those numbers, you can go through them and you can research about them in case you need to know more about those. Yeah, the electrons, please, you will go through and you can do more research about them as we have been discussing. Now this is the atomic structure, summarizing how the structure of atoms is generally arranged. As you can see, atomic number and atomic mass for helium. Yeah. Now, so meaning that we can represent any atom or element, an atom of an element, using this as it was showed in the picture. Yeah, this one is summarizing that the quantum shells, the first one has a maximum of 2 electrons, next one is having a maximum of 8 electrons, the third one 8 electrons. So generally we arrange the periodic table depending on the atomic structure of the element. Yeah, finally, thank you for listening.